Good day. My name is Larissa Nikolaevna. I work at the APL plant. I am the head of the production of ACCUMULIT SA drops. We work.
There are many factors that produce this sort of caramel, but we produce not simply caramel that's made of sugar and molasses, but the caramel that could be even sometimes a magical remedy. Today I will try to tell in more detail about the process of production of our drops, so that every single one of you could understand what's the specifics of our caramel, so that the ordinary caramel would turn into something special. So many people worked on it, including the researchers and scientists. So let's go into the detail. The main mission that we have is to produce the caramel that corresponds to all of the requirements. Particularly, we needed to make so that every single piece of drop, which weighs 1.67 grams, would bear the charge of energy or relaxations, endurance, or would help you to handle the problems of your health. It all begins, as usually, molasses of the highest quality. The caramel of the high quality, purely refined, the sugar produced in the land of Moldova. It has absorbed all the sun, all the sweetness. We add water to those products, which of course also is refined in 3 stages. Our main condition is the use of only and only high quality natural ingredients. All of the ingredients have, of course, appropriate sanitary certifications, the quality certifications, because our products are certified according to ISO 9001, halal and kosher. So the signs that you see on a package confirm that on the side. And of course, we only apply the raw materials that correspond to the requirements. Let's return to the production. All of the products are diluted, dissolved, mixed and boiled down, but not simply that, but according to specific technological schemes, temperatures, timing, pressure. I know you love detail. That's why I'm gonna tell you. The operator measures the dedicated volume of filtered and specifically sieved water. Then we add sieved sugar. Of course, there are also magnet detector that sieve out all of the metals. And we also add the molasses at 60 degrees. We boil all of that in a big cauldron, mixing at the temperature of 110 degrees. When the syrup is ready, we move it into the intermediary reservoir with a special filter that would not allow any additional substances. Then the syrup is going into the vacuum evaporator, where it's being turned into this caramel mass, caramel substance. Then it's boiled down at the temperature of 140 degrees and the pressure of 6 atmospheres. In the same time, the vacuum in the evaporator removes all the moist, and in 10 minutes we get the caramel substance with humidity of 1.5, 1.7%. Of course, the hardware that's used to produce caramel also corresponds to all of the sanitary requirements to produce food products. And a few words about the magic ingredient, the magic sauce that puts us apart from other drops. After the substance goes out of the vacuum evaporator, we add our key ingredient, the herbs, the herbal extracts and collections. Each type of drop is amended with a special selection of herbs. They are all the herbs are packed in a vacuum packages and vacuum barrels, so that the oxygen would not contaminate the herbs. The dosage of the herbs is meticulously calculated, so that each caramel out of the pack of 60 kilograms would get an appropriate amount of herbal extracts. So that's why the herbs are reduced, blended and fermented to the lowest degree. In this caramel, you see little points. The little points, those are the pieces of herbs. Every caramel has a specific flavor and color. And those are not simply the flavors and the colors that we added. When, for example, when the perfumer creates the perfume, of course, he meticulously selects the ingredients. Before MLS or other caramels become what they are supposed to become, we select meticulously the taste, the herbs, and the aromas. And natural substance is here the most important criteria. The flavors are delivered by the significant European companies from Austria and Spain. For example, our lemon contains the natural lemon oil. In ice, there is a natural mint oil, and of course, orange in MLS. Same with the colors, so that MLS is so colorful and sunny. We would need to dry lots of paprika. We would need to blend that paprika. ALT and GRW becomes so colorful, like currant or red grapes, thanks to the skin that we've dried, again, to the appropriate procedures. Then the mass is being mixed down and pressed with the caramel, removing the bubbles of air. This process has to be quick so that the mass does not turn into glassy substance. So for now, it's semi-liquid. Upper layers go down and the inner layers go up. That's the only way to make this mass homogeneous and remove all the air bubbles. After that, the mass is being twisted. It becomes a cone, which gradually, with the rolls, turns into this twisted strip, and then moves into the extruding machine. In the extruding machine, we get this little pieces with the logo of our company engraved on that, the leaf. The caramel is being cooled down, all of the drops are removed from it, and then it's sorted into 18 sheets, where the caramel finally goes to the appropriate condition. Then our young workers are checking and sorting all of the caramel that have been damaged, so that in the blister we would have only the drops of the purest, highest quality. Then the packaging. The foil protects our caramel from liquid and humidity. Also, it's all food standard foil. In one blister, there are 15 drops. All of them are of oval shape, correct shape with the logo of our company. Next stage is packaging of the blisters into boxes. On every box, there is a date and the time to which we can store the caramel, and also the number of the lot. According to the number, you can track from which series we got every single component of the caramel, starting from molasses and ending with the foil and plastic for the box. If we want to follow the journey of every box, that's also possible. There's also a personal stamp of employee on every box. The employee is in charge of the quality and responsible for it. In every box, there's also the informational leaflet. The box is packed into this big packages of 120 pieces, and there's also the sticker of the information of the product. Our logo on a box is our know-how, and this is all of the important information about the production that I wanted to share. We'll talk about ACCUMULIT SA even more today. This is accumulation of power, of strengths. We'll also be talking about the quality certificates of our production, and of course about the gorgeous results that we've been able to achieve this year. That's why please bear with us. Get the useful information and the powerful nutrients, learn about products, and use our unique products. Other sugar replacements, by the way, are prohibited in different countries, like sugarin or aspartame. Other sugar replacements, which are not recommended specifically for children. Sugar, in this particular case, is the most appropriate product for correct, balanced nutrition. They often ask me, why don't we use, for example, for our caramel, the products like stevia or agave syrup? As a matter of fact, agave syrup, structurally, is very good to be added into coffee, desserts, tea, so that the product tastes more sugary, sweetly. But the energy that the sugar would give us does not go into our body. And besides, agave syrup is completely unusable for industrial technologies of food production because it doesn't have structural properties of sugar, and it cannot give to the product the necessary physical and chemical properties, so that it can be packed and stored for quite a long time. That's why agave syrup can be used in culinary at home, so for the products that will not be stored for too long time. Another sweetener of our caramel is, of course, starch, which we produced via enzymic high process from molasses. Of course, there's no one word for molasses. I mean, there are different words that mean molasses. Usually we use the word molasses, and pretty much people know what the word means. But in many situations, the word molasses means, for example, dark molasses or beet molasses. So, of course, it's not contaminating, it's edible, but it's not meant for food products. And besides, if you use dark molasses, we cannot produce colorless caramel. That's physically almost impossible. Molasses consists of glucose, fructose, and maltodextrins. As a matter of fact, that is the syrup of glucose and fructose.
Also, they are a source of glycogen, which is required to form and in order to run various processes of the body. Dextrins, they insist on this. They work as a filter to free up from our bodies from toxins and radionuclides. In our products, we use mostly natural fruit additives. Aromas that we use, they are made out of aromatic substances that were taken from fresh fruits, as well as esterized oils of citruses and mint. The coloring agents, there also are extracts from, say, grape skin, anthocyane, sweet paprika extract, coloring agent, an extract of the roots that give us the yellow color. In our drops, we don't use any synthetic or chemical additives, and we are truly proud of it. So with our absolutely natural composition of our product. And so the main part of our product, it makes them different from all of the rest. This is a functional plant additives. The plants that are created by the notch, they're growing there in nature. They have huge amount of characteristics, and they can be both useful and harmful for the humans. And it's not only a matter of dosing, but in the table we have the category, which is of use of the raw resources that are there to use in certain products and in certain amounts. The largest category, this is unlimited, allowed for unlimited use in cosmetics, medicine, and foodstuff. This everybody knows it, such as ginger, ginseng. So those products with which we can see on a daily basis, and it's pretty much everywhere. Then there are groups that are limited for medical aims. They contain psychotropic or poisonous substances in them. So this group of plants, it is forbidden for use in any products except for the medical products on specific indications, such as root, hemlock, or other plants which are not present in our product. The next group is quite a small one, and it does not relate to us, but I will mention it. These are limited for the external use only. Of course, they are present in various cosmetics or in certain dermatological substances, but out of them, some of them can be poisonous, such as the milky juice or natural esterized oil. Not the dissolved ones, but the natural ones that can cause rashes on the skin and even burns, severe burns. The other group of plants, this is limited in dosing. What does it mean? These plants, you can use them as for food intake, but they can cause side effects. They have certain, they are, well, it's impossible to take them with medicines at the same time, so their mode of intake is limited, such as valeria and even the Johnswort, which cannot be taken jointly with antibiotics or antidepressants because they react and they harm the body. The herbal additives and the herb mixtures are produced with one of the best companies that does the processing of plants. It's Barrow Herb Company under certain parameters. Only this company is being very specific and very thorough on working with plants. Thus, we can guarantee the safety of the plants and the plant mixtures, and also can guarantee their efficiency. And when working with the plants, we consider all of the agrotechnical parameters of standardization of plants, particularly not only the looks, but also the age of the plant. We select the specific part of the plant, which is the most useful for the specific purpose. So out of some plants we use the roots, for some plants we use leaves, out of some plants we use fruits or berries. So soils and conditions where they grow, including the climate, become highly important, and the conditions of their picking. Usually it is done with hand picking in order not to damage the valuable plants. So consequently the use of pesticides and fertilizers is limited because norms is very strict, and in our herbal mixtures from Barrow Herb Company, these indicators are below the lowest limits. So consequently we standardize the methods of drying of plants, residual humidity, how we grind them, and conditions of storage and time of storage. All of the recipes are created individually, and the unique formulation is being selected for each product and prepared for each product, considering the future effects to the human body. The Barrow Herb Company was developing these recipes with the assistance of computer-aided design of the recipe, so that they're not only standardized under certain indicators and have a stable quality from one batch to the other, but so that they are very effective in providing the synergy and long-lasting effect and have the maximum effect towards the body. In order to reach the maximum effect, we use a unique technology called ACCUMULIT SA. This is the technology of activation of all of the active agents contained in the plants. This is an innovation based on the increase of the efficiency of all of the molecules which are there a part of the herbal mixtures. What are the principle and practice of the use of this technology? What brings us to such great effect? There are three bases of it, three pillars. The base of it are, of course, it is the herbs, herbal mixtures, well balanced, and the principles of how they affect the human body. Then the process of the technology of biological activation, and then the technology of securing this useful information, this useful nutrition, and preserving them inside the product of all of the useful characteristics inside the drops. We were considering all of the principles of standardization, of course, and we were developing the formulations. We were selecting the assortment of plants based on which of them must be in each of the particular product, and also in regards to their quality. Then we were selecting the modes of drying and grinding separately for each product, because it is impossible to reach the same drying or grinding grade for root or for the leaves. It's either too rough or it's made into absolute powder, which is not suitable. But with a computer-aided design, we were able to calculate how much we should dry each part of the plant and how much we can grind each part of the plant. So the order of mixing was also specifically calculated. It doesn't, so if we have, say, 5 components, we mix them one in the same, in one go. No. This must be a certain principle behind it, so that they add step by step and they form the real working mixture. So all of the mixtures were created based on these principles. That's why they have this very high efficiency. Consequently, what is the useful part of it? The plants were selected in order to strengthen each other and would provide a synergy effect as well as the long-lasting effect. The components add to each other and they increase the force of each other. Consequently, all of the active ingredients are getting open quite rapidly. Inside, there are initial molecules, carbohydrates, fats, proteins, which body can take from the foodstuff, well, general foodstuff, and introduce them into the body. But the active molecules, they do not produce them. Maybe we do not need them in large substances, but they must be there to maintain our processes. And the most important molecules, these are flavonoids, so they work as antioxidants. So they provide the tone of the body, and they glycosides. So the natural carbohydrates, which take part into the human exchange. Then saponines, a very small group of substances. They have the antioxidant effects, plus they support immune system, and they bring down the cholesterol levels. Then the next active molecule are these accumulants, which have strong antivirus and spasmolytics effects. Alkaloids, which can work as tranquilizers, but they stimulate the brain activity and muscular activity. Also, they have microelements to them, such as ferrum, not only calcium and manganese, but also ferrum, selenium, chrome, and zinc. The body requires it, but in very small batches. But without these microelements, all of the processes that happen inside humans, they will become deficient. Plus, there are fruit acids, apple acid, lemon acid. These are great natural antiseptics and antioxidants. So we have created this mixture, herbal mixture, which is prepared for the active work inside our human bodies. But our work, additional work, to make them in such a stage so that they would start working once they enter our body. That's why we implemented the bioactivation process for the active molecules. So they have certain cellular membrane, all of the molecules, right? And all of the useful substances, they're kind of conservated inside the cell. If we put them in the unprepared state, then it would take a very long time for them to get free inside the body. So our task was to stimulate so that the useful substances, beneficial substances, exit this cell very rapidly. That's why we implemented the bioactivation technology. Inside the activator, we pour in the mixture for each particular product, of course separately, in certain amounts which are required for the specific loads of the mass of the product. It's not a matter of activating them and then storing them like for ages. No, absolutely no. So we load the required amount into the activator, and in the turbulent flow, we create the convection flow. So the spinning forces plus high pressure, around 30 to 40 megapascals, with very short impulses. But as a result, we damage this surface membrane on the cell, and the cell kind of becomes open so that all of the good substances, they get free very easily and can get rapidly sucked into our body. So our next task was to store it, this pre-activated mixture, so that it is effective inside our caramel drops, and it remains effective. So it is introduced into the amorph caramel mass at the temperature of 70 degrees, where it is mixed very properly, evenly distributed among all of the mass. So each particle of this herbal mixture, and it's kind of getting covered with a very fine, like, sugar encasement. It gets like, and then the caramel goes all of the processes that I mentioned before, and then it chills, and it's getting crystallized. So there's a crystallized encasement, inside of which, when there are active molecules of substances. So once this drop, this caramel drop, goes into our body, say we put it under the tongue, so this sugar encasement is dissolved very rapidly, and we're getting these good substances even in our mouth. So everybody, many clients note immediate effect from the intake and the prolonged effect. And that depends, of course, on the herbs that are present in certain products, in certain mixture, because it is clear that in order to increase the immune system and the efficiency, you have to provide a long take of our products, because there's like accumulation effect is in place. The product that affects our energy, raises our energy, or strengthens our brain activities. There are plants that they have a more strong effect right in place, affecting our cells of our bodies. And the last stage that I said, this is so that these good substances sit on a sugar mash. This sugar crystal mash, it is not obscuring any processes from the components of the product. Plus, it is a great transport to deliver all of the good molecules to the body where they are needed. This particular unique technology provides the efficiency of our drops. APL drops, they are not pharmaceutical, they are not medical products. This is not a product to cater for all of the diseases, but it has very good properties in fighting particular symptoms, providing energy to our body. We produce the product which is healthy and has a good effect to our products, and it doesn't have any side effects whatsoever. And it is based on those technologies that I have mentioned, which allow us to combine the products in any composition and provide those substances that are required for any human bodies without any side effects. The drops of ACCUMULIT SA series, they have a long-lasting, well-balanced effect to the human body, and their characteristics only increase when you intake them for a long time. They can either relax you, or they can, give more power to you and to make something that was deemed to impossible yesterday. They work very accurately without any harm to the health. APL drops, this is a great pleasure and great joy from the great taste and aroma. Only the use and the benefit of our products, any useful products, they have to be tasty. Plus, they give us joy of taking them, thanks to the mixture of all of the characteristics that I have mentioned. Thanks to everyone for the attention, and I wish you further successes in business and promoting our products.